Hi, this is Tony Sanders, and I'm going to lead you through a short tour of what we'll be doing here on day one in our class. So what we'll be doing is we'll be establishing Google accounts and some other stuff. The other stuff includes various aspects of the Google universe, such as a blogger and websites, and then also we'll switch over to Khan Academy and then finally to MIT for the App Inventor software. Another big part of our studies this semester involves working with Microsoft's Office suite. So we'll work on those different programs, and I'll give you a quick tour of that as well. Okay, now that we've established what we're going to do, let's get started. The first thing you'll want to do is to make sure that you have a Google account in the form of a Perry Street account. And the way that looks is you want to have PSP and then your first name followed by your last name at gmail.com. And that's what we want to do. So I will show you mine so that you can go ahead and use the same style. Mine is PSP Tony Sanders at gmail.com. So you'll want to use the same style if you don't already have one. My account is PSP Tony Sanders at gmail.com. This is the format you'll want to repeat. You want to have PSP at the beginning so that it's unique. Then you want to have it followed by your first name and your last name. Please do not stray from this format. If you do, then what will happen is you'll just have to go back and create an account that fits the format that we've decided is the crucial format. Once you have an account, you'll be able to log in. So I have done that. And then what you'll notice is this grid here has most of your apps. There's Gmail, which most of you should be familiar with. Google Drive, which is where we will be storing most of our different documents and spreadsheets and other things that we'll be working on. Further down, we have Blogger, and your blog is a daily requirement. You'll need to create a blogger at blogspot.com, and you'll need to comment on various things that we post as ideas worth critical thinking. After creating a blogger, we'll go further into the system, and you will want to create a Google site. A Google site is a website that you can create and use for other forms of communication during your semester. So here's an example of one that I created called Perry Street Tech. These websites are smartphone friendly so that you'll be able to use them to interact with other students and with the public at large, and be able to store various things that you want to store on a website. After we've done that, what you'll do is you want to go over to Khan Academy, so that what you can do is create an account if you don't already have one. Khan Academy is at KhanAcademy.org. Now this is very important. You want to establish your Google account first so that when you have gone over to Khan Academy with a new tab, you can simply sign in with Google. This will present a screen like this that will either ask you to key in your new password, or if you already have an account, it'll simply ask you to renew your account for another 30 days. So we'll do that. Once you have logged in with your Google account, what you're going to want to do is establish at least 2 teachers at school as your coaches. One of those would be me. The other will be Miss Juanita Griffin. To do that, you'll click on your own page. That's this right here. And once you've gone to your own page, you'll go down to the bottom left where it says Coaches. Now, once you have reached the Coaches button and clicked on it, you'll have the opportunity to add a coach. One coach you want to add is me, and I am mathteachertony@gmail.com with an uppercase M. mathteachertony@gmail.com. We have also, in today's assignment, established a code for you to use so that you can include Miss Juanita Griffin as a coach at Khan Academy. The importance of establishing the coaches for your Khan Academy account is so that what can happen is we can help you develop your skills over the course of time. Now, the way that works is we can take a look at your dashboard and see what kinds of skills you have worked on and what you might need help with. All of these are available to us as coaches for viewing, and you can see that, as an example for me, I have a lot of practice that I need to take for various different mathematical exercises. The next part of our first day exercise is to establish an account at MIT's App Inventor website. Now, App Inventor is a site that's designed to allow you to create smartphone apps for the Android operating system. And where you want to go to is appinventor.mit.edu. So we'll go there, appinventor.mit.edu, and what you'll do is, if you don't have an account already, you can go into Create or Get Started. So let's take a look at Get Started. Getting started allows you to create all these things, and you have setup instructions, how to set up your phone, designer and blocks editor overview, and beginner tutorials. So what we'll do is we'll go to Create. You'll get a web page just like with Khan Academy. And then what we need to do is probably fill out the short voluntary survey. And I think I'll take it later. So here's another screen that's come up. And since you'll be new to this, you'll get this screen that says you don't have any projects in App Inventor 2 yet. And then what we'll do is we can move forward. You can see that I've been logged in to my account. And then the next thing I can do is go ahead and create my first project. Now, I've done this under another account, but we might as well show you what's going on with this new project. So when we go to start a new project, let's call this, how about Project 1? Actually, I think you need to have no spaces. Project 1, and what you get is a screen for working in, various user interfaces, things that you can put into the screen, and finally a way to manipulate the screens. We'll cover this in more detail later on, but what you can do once you've established your account at MIT is you can go into the area for learning. So here's their guide, and what we can do is take a look at, by going to Home, you used to have, tutorials are here. And so we can go to step-by-step guides. Now here, when we go to step-by-step guides, you have a lot of tutorials for various apps. This is a new one for Black History Month. In our other classes, we'd already worked on Paint Pot and Magic 8 Ball and a couple of other things. But this is how you can learn on your own and see how to create things that are kind of cool on your phone. Here, this looking for App Inventor Classic tutorials. This is the style we had before, and the first thing we had done was Hello Purr. So here's an example of the extensive amount of detail that you can read through when you're working on your different apps. I suggest that students who have internet access at home go right ahead and remember to log into Google, and then they can log into MIT, and then you can read through all this, work on your projects, and save your projects for later use during class. All right, the last thing to give you a tour of is the Microsoft site. So we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, finally what we're going to do is take a look at some of the instructional tutorials that are available at Microsoft. And these are things that we will be looking at in depth. So first place to go is to Microsoft.com. And once you get to Microsoft, you'll see a screen like this. We'll want to go to Support. And after we've opened up the Support window, we'll want to go down to By Product, but for Office, because we're looking at Microsoft Office. Below this, what we'll want to do is go to where it says Free Training. Free Training will start with the most recent version of Office, but if we scroll down just a bit, we'll see that we have Office 2007 training, and that's the version of Office that we have on most of the machines in the computer lab. The programs that we'll look at are Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, and Access. Those will be the main ones that we look at. If we have time, we might look at Publisher and a couple other things. But here's an example of what we can find in terms of training under Office 2007 training. So let's take a look at Excel first. And what you'll see is a training courses menu that comes up with various modules. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get into creating charts, creating pivot table reports with 1, 2, 3 pieces there. Sharing data with other people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Learn general office skills. And then that's what we see here. The way these work is each of these are different training lessons, and we can take a look at Up to Speed with Excel 2007, and you'll find that some things start right away, all by themselves. Here's an example.
Here you are with a new version of Excel. When you open...
So what you'll find is that some of the training sessions begin on their own automatically, but there's also a description of the level of knowledge of Microsoft Office that's assumed, and the running length of time that should be devoted to learning this specific lesson. Now, the 30 to 40 minutes here is involved in all of these different pieces that are under the Up to Speed with Excel 2007. As a quick idea of what we're talking about, if we go back one screen, we see this is Up to Speed with Excel 2007, and under this one piece here, we have
Here you are with a new version.
All of these pieces right here. Each of these involves a practice session towards the end so that you can practice what you've been working on. This will be a requirement for your class grades. So we see that this is the first of several different modules for Excel. We can go back a couple of screens and take a look at Outlook, see what's here, slightly different design, but you'll see generally the same kind of idea. This is an example of using Office. It doesn't have any voices involved, but that's all right. And further on, communicate more efficiently, manage your mailbox. If we come back, we can see that PowerPoint is here. Up to speed with PowerPoint. Create your first presentation. Many of you already know a lot about PowerPoint, but what you'll find is in our course we'll be using VBA programming, that's Visual Basic for Applications, and we'll be making various objects move about the screen on their own once a slide is opened. This is probably a very important part of your studies because using PowerPoint is crucial to a lot of jobs. All right, as you can see, this is a lot of different training resources that you can have. All of this under PowerPoint. And then the next thing is Word. This also has various pieces. And then finally, looking at Microsoft Access, which is a database. So this also has extensive tutorials, and we'll be diving into all of this as time goes by. All right, I think that wraps up the online version of instruction for today. Thanks very much for paying attention. Talk to you later.